Hello everyone, welcome back to more chess, playing 1510 as we have recently been doing against Paolo 666, the devil. Okay, fine. So let's just defend the pawn? I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do against the Sicilian. I don't concern myself with such trifling details. Um I don't know, you're probably supposed to do this or something? It doesn't really work though, does it? Because they get this controlled twice. Okay. That's fine. Just develop the other knight. How bad could that be? I love knights. They're so easy to develop. You just put them in these squares, and I don't know. It does block like these pawns from advancing, but I don't really care that much about advancing either of them, to be honest. I wouldn't mind, I guess, getting this guy advanced a bit, but I don't want to go all the way out here to make room for the knight. So whatever. We're kind of exerting some pressure on these squares, trying to make it hard for black to contest the center. This one they could push here if they wanted. It would be fine, I think. Well, I don't know. Then I can do this, deflecting the knight and pick up the pawn? Yeah. So it doesn't actually work. I can pin the knight now. But I think they'd be reasonably happy with this trade. Maybe here, here, here. I don't know how good that would be for me. I don't know. It would let me do this, which is pretty good, I think. Let's give it a try. We'll see if it's wrong. Undefended pieces, by the way? Just rooks, I believe. Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of a nice thread, I think. Okay, they're stopping that. But now I get this square. Isn't that incredible? They can get to it, like, I don't know. I want to do everything I can to hang on to this. This is so good. What pieces can control that square? Knights, bishops, this pawn. They have a pretty good square here, but if I can avoid pushing all the way to c4 and just play c3, I can keep like their pieces out of here, which would be great. I think I'll just castle. Also, by the way, this bishop can himself live here, so I think it would be really bad to make this trade now. It would bring a pawn to reinforce this hole. It would trade a piece that can get here for like a piece that's not really doing much. There are many reasons it would be bad to take that knight at this time. Also, I guess my queen can control this square. Yeah, I don't mind backing off. I apparently provoked this somehow, or no, this. So I don't want to try to maintain this pin. I'm out of here. Just something quiet like here, I think is fine. It does block the queen in, but I don't really want to develop her at the moment anyway. I think I want my structure to look something like this. So I gotta find something to do with the knight. I could put him here. Hmm. What's that all about? My light square bishop is probably not very good. I think I'd be okay with this trade if you want to make it. Yeah. Let's just reinforce my center. I'd love to take here. It opens this up. The light square bishop can get here, which is obviously very valuable. I don't know. Maybe I should have done something with him, but it was kind of hard. Like, I could have not moved him here. But I don't know if it's really worth them giving up this insane knight for my crummy bishop, right? I'm like trying to tempt them to do that, and then if they don't, okay, I'll probably do this. Where are you going? Here? Here? You're here? My dark square bishop is probably my better bishop because I have like light square pawns, but they don't have to stay there, right? And this is a long-term weakness for black. So it might actually not be correct to do this. What about this? Attacks the queen? Kind of sucks though. I just have to retreat immediately. Let's do this. So I have a trade if I want it. I don't know if I do, but taking out my knight. How interesting. I wonder why. I guess this bishop is kind of bad. It would be nice to get him here, but it's really hard. I would have to route like this. But he can support the pawns that are supporting it, which is still a useful job, I think. Okay, they're immediately threatening this, I guess. Just try to stop my knight from even landing in there. This seems probably worth it, since it hurts their kingside structure and their king has nowhere good to go. I haven't been looking at undefended pieces at all this game. Maybe I need, like, I don't know. It's hard to maintain focus over a large number of games, even though this is only, like, my third game of the day. It's just, like, I don't know. It's more work than just playing, right? That's the point of focus practice, is that it's more effective than playing, too. Here? Yeah, this bishop is not so easy to dislodge. It pins this pawn and threatens stuff like this. Okay. I mean, maybe it is easy to dislodge the bishop. Just like queen here. What? What? Oh. It wasn't my move. I thought it was my move for some reason. Okay. That's fine, I guess. So this? Not sure what the purpose of that is. I can step up and defend. This is a pretty solid spot for my bishop, I think. Then maybe I could do this someday. I could just do this now. But that invites bishop here, which comes with tempo that I don't really want to give. I think I'll do this first. I'm a little bit reluctant to create a light colored flight square because they have they have both bishops. Okay, never mind. I think that's a great idea. Not sure if that's really doing anything right now. I think I just go here and I'm like untouchable. And the bishop will just slot nicely into g2 and deflect all diagonal attacks while the pawns take care of file attacks. I need to get my queen developed so that my rooks are connected, and then try to get this knight into the game. I want to take control of this square, but it's hard. Because this bishop is guarding it well. So you might consider like this, but I don't know. I can't actually go anywhere once I get here. I just attack the rook and the rook moves. And I'm like, oh well, there goes that idea. Spent 3 moves to get here instead of 1. What resources do I have that I can try to exploit here? I don't know. This square is the only thing I really see. I guess here is a little bit scary, but there aren't any diagonals they can actually attack me on, so I think it's fine. I think no undefended pieces at the moment, right? I guess this pawn on my side is the only undefended piece. And then over here we have, well, that pawn, this rook. And this pawn. I think I want to discourage this play. And I think this accomplishes that. They can go here, takes. I have to move with the knight, but I've opened up this file, and the knight's not so sad to be here, I don't think. Or even here, maybe? I could do this, but I really don't want that to happen. I want this pawn to stay right where he is. I could also try this to stop this attack, this push completely. But it doesn't really work. They would just take, getting the attack anyway. It loses their control on this, and that pawn may be somewhat hard to hang on to, I suppose, but I don't see any obvious ways to attack it. Yeah, let's just do this. It seems fine. Yeah, actually, I'm not so sure they want to do this. Because it weakens this square. And it lets me do something like this soon, perhaps. And they might have trouble hanging on to the pawn anyway. I don't know. I feel on the defensive. There's obviously this attack, but I'm not too concerned about it. But like the pawns are encroaching, and I don't know. I just like this is the resource that I can see, and I'm not doing anything with it, and everything else looks sort of a bit worse for me. No, my king safety. That's the other resource I have. Their king will never find a safe square on the back rank. Here is just bad. Let's just hang out back here. Open up the queen to some ideas like this. Doesn't work at the moment, but maybe someday. Or just anything that gets her off the back rank. Maybe support this. I don't know. I probably want to leave this square open, don't I, for the knight? Well, my bishop is eyeing this square up, which is very useful. I guess even if I can't plant a pawn here, I could plant a knight. I'm sorry. If I can't plant a piece there, I could plant a pawn with this bishop eyeing it up. So here. And this pawn is pretty cool. And I'd have threats like this. I think maybe I shouldn't be so concerned about this problem. Yeah, let's go for it. Well, I don't know. Maybe I should develop a queen first. No, I don't know. This knight is great. I think they're going to have to trade. And now the pawn is at least providing an outpost that I could do something with someday. Maybe. I guess I don't have any minor pieces who could be supported by it, but it could support a major piece getting back there someday. And I have recall this idea. I think I'm perfectly happy to have doubled these pawns. In fact, if here, I guess I would just take with the bishop and then back up again. Yeah, because I don't want to. I don't want to close this file back up. So maybe they should do this to try and support that better. Undefended pieces. Nope, not that one. Okay, just these two pawns and this rook. Where are you going? Okay, right, you're just hanging on to this. That's fine. But I had this idea anyway. I think they want to do this, and I don't want to allow it. Even though it's like still not connecting my rooks, I think this is valuable. It's keeping this pawn stuck so they can't ever like get a rook lift. Right? This pawn can't move because they can't add enough defenders to it at this position. I don't know, maybe you would have to do something like this. All right, this is x-raying an undefended piece and my rook, so I should not allow that. Let's just get the rook here. These guys were like fresh in my mind because I had been doing undefended piece surveys. This and also this attack was in my mind, so the discovery is pretty obvious. But I've definitely been caught off guard by moves like that in the past. Yeah, I don't want this guy to go anywhere. Because that would expose this pawn to file attacks. And it also threatens to close this file back up. Or rank attacks, I guess, is what these are. Oh, wow, look how close the match is. 1454 to 1453. Obviously, you can run into people who are exactly a rating, and I imagine it's not even that rare, but I haven't noticed a rating as close as this before. I'm sure that I may well have had some and just not noticed. All right. So there's this pawn break. I don't think I budge. Well, if I take here, this guy gets isolated. And then I can try to bring my queen into play. Like this. They can defend with their pieces. It's kind of nice to have my queen defending this pawn, actually. Oh, if here I can just take with queen. Yeah. I'm not moving. That's what I think. But I don't know what I'm supposed to do instead. I can move here. No, then this guy's a little bit hard to get rid of. Like, a lot hard to get rid of. That's just as bad. Their queen and rook are lined up, but I don't have a dark square bishop, so there's really no way to take advantage of that ever. These pawns are getting a little bit loose. I don't know. I think this take is probably fine. And then here to put a stop to any further motion. I lose control of this file. Ooh, actually, do I do this first? I think I do. Because if they take, I can take back. Whereas if I do this, I worry a little bit about the queen coming over and this rook pawn, the pawn this rook is defending, getting under a little bit of stress. Yeah, let's do that. So I like the idea of defending this, but I don't know if it's actually worth. Well, I don't know. I can always take with the rook, right? I feel like it's going to be hard for them to hang on to that pawn. So they maybe should trade it off. But then I get this. Okay. They're threatening something like that, I guess. Check and pick up the pawn? They can block with rook. Check. Rook blocks. Then what? Nothing really, right? But I've pinned the rook. Here allows this. Check. I don't like how that's looking. I think I want to step up with the queen. So that if something like here, and then maybe I do nothing, takes, I don't know. Or maybe I take here, takes. Now this is not coming with such a big problem. I don't know. I don't think I want that. No more. It means that like this pawn is less well supported, but I think that's okay. He's supported enough. And now this pawn is a big weakness. It can't be defended by the bishop anymore. So I can work against it like with my queen. And it's really hard for them to get a piece to defend it. This might be my entry into the black position. So threatening this maybe? This, does this do anything? It attacks the pawn, but I kind of worry something like this and I'll be trapped, maybe? Probably not. That's what good chess masters always say. Probably not, and then they just make the first move that comes to mind. It'll probably be all right. I can do this actually and fork these 2 pawns. But what am I doing about this? This is obviously what the opponent is playing for. I think here ought to be okay. Feels kind of bad to just go like this with the queen, but I was given an opportunity that I didn't know I was going to have. And it was over like 3 moves, not just 2. This comes with check. I don't know if I mentioned that. That's pretty cool. So they can't do something like this yet, I don't think. They have to address this probably. I mean, it's not like their H-pawns are amazing. But I think I'd be happy to take them as long as I don't get checkmated. Which one do I want? This one's pretty cool. But I risk stuff like this. I retreat, say, to here, and then this. I don't know, it could get messy. Whereas this seems like a clean pawn. With check. I can pick this up as well if I want. But then this discovery crushes me? Yeah, I don't want to do that. That would be bad. Can't take this pawn. It's not safe. Another bishop move would be fine, but this, and I'm in trouble. So let's just go back. These rooks and pawns are so menacing. There's like pent up potential energy just waiting to be unleashed by a pawn break. And try to tear open my king side. But I have like, oh my god, this? That's pretty cool. That would be, if they did nothing, if they just gave me 2 free moves in a row, this would be checkmate. Worth noting. So it is a serious threat. Do I need my queen to defend this stuff, is the question, I guess. Can I afford this? I think it's probably okay, because she's still eyeing up this square, which is the key. No takes. We don't take this. Just pick this up. Want to be able to recapture. Don't want to get forked as well. Oh, this would be fine, I guess. But they're not going to do that. They're gonna take here. They want to let the rook in. So here, here, here. I think it should be fine. And they gave me 1 free move. This, I guess the response to this is checkmate, right? It's not to recapture. So they do have to address that. I could maybe say he. Paolo is a fairly masculine name, but one never knows. Oh, double check. This is checkmate, right? Yeah, good work, Pawn. You did it. Well, you know, I said they were never going to give me 2 free moves in a row, and by golly, that's what happened. And this pawn proved a valuable asset. Give me that computer analysis. Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of good, actually, that there was a pawn here, because it made it look like I was just doing a greedy pawn grab when I was actually threatening mate in 1. I think if there were no pawn here, the opponent would have looked at this move with a little bit more skepticism and realized the serious attack that it was making. I feel like I've gotten very few checkmates this early in a game, right? I mean, okay, yes, it's, you know, it's moved 28, but it's not like a bunch of pieces are off the board. And 28 is like, it's mid game. But usually I feel like, I don't know, when I win in the mid game, someone has just like blundered a piece or whatever. And the piece they blunder is usually not the king. I'm not very good at finding checkmates that aren't just like, well, I have a king and a rook and you have a king. Or something like that, right? Where my pieces chase you across the board until you finally give up. Just like spotting, oh yeah, look at this. There's this checkmate just sitting here. Why did the king end up over here, by the way? I'm trying to remember how that happened. I checked the king, which it actually doesn't like. Push here. Try to break that open, huh? Wow. Huh. And then it doesn't like this. I guess maybe I was... Yeah, I don't have to run away yet. Why not just hang out over here? That's true. Wait for them to attack you before you run away. And I guess do something like this instead. Which it wants me to do, I think, to break open the queen side. Yeah. I was... Oh, whoops. I was kind of worried about... I don't know. I was trying to keep the position closed, but I don't see why. I'm just like scared of the position opening up without really analyzing whether that's appropriate this game or not, I guess. Right now, my rooks are more active, and one of them is stuck here. Getting him here would be insane. So this push... But, like, don't they just go here, here? Oh, interesting. It doesn't want to push this pawn. It wants to push this one. Anyway, okay, let's go learn from your mistakes. 0 blunders, that's good, but 3 mistakes. Okay. So here, I attacked this knight, allowing this, but I couldn't have stopped that. Well, I could have. I could have done this. So I guess they're trying to say this light square bishop is important, don't throw him away. Or are they saying, go for this, blow up the king side, instead of this kind of do-nothing move? Yeah. Yeah. Out of curiosity, how good is this? It says, also good. Just try to hang on to the bishops. Okay. Or at least get something good for the bishop. Fine. Now, I played queen here. It doesn't like that. I guess it's probably more about like focusing on this, the queen side pawn break. I was just so scared about this attack, and I thought I wanted to focus on the king side. Even though I thought I was weathering the storm of this attack, it's still like, it's kind of imposing, right? There's a lot here. All their pawns, all their pieces over here. It's just really hard to see for me that I'm supposed to go like this or this. I don't even know which of these pawns you push if you want. Like, you can't actually ensure a pawn break, right? If here, then here. If here, then the pawn hangs around. But I guess you get a passer that way, at least. Probably this. No. This one? Why is that so much better? Oh, because when the position opens up, excuse me, you don't have this file. I see. So it wants this, but then, like, why not takes? Sorry, why not push? Okay, I see. I get either a passer or a file, a connected passer, by the way, or the file this way. Whereas if I do this, then when I try to create a passer, they deny me the file. Okay, that's an interesting thing to think about. I'm definitely, I don't know, I feel like I have an okay, I mean, for my level, understanding of like pawn interactions when you're trying to like I don't know. Like in the puzzles, I do pretty well in like rook and pawn end games or whatever, or pawn and bishop end games. And those are the kinds of positions where I think about like, okay, how do we ensure a pawn break? How do we ensure the right pawn break? And so it seems like I should understand this, but I don't. Like, I get it. I've analyzed this one position, but I don't think I'm doing a good job of generalizing it yet. Anyway, okay. Something to think about in the future. So it hates this. It says, who cares about that stinky pawn? Just get a file. Or a passer. Okay. So, was that the same blunder 3 times? No. Or it was the same mistake twice. And then also the mistake of giving up my light square bishop, which they did not actually avail themselves of. Yeah. It says, wait, what? Bring the knight home. Wow. I see. You don't have to take the bishop. He's trapped. Well, but I can do this, so. But it doesn't want to. I don't know. It's a mystery. I don't understand why this move is wrong. I mean, I don't know. I think this is useful. I get that. And this first is fine. Well, is it though? Here. Now your knights are, well, probably here. Now your knight's under fire, but I guess you get there. And then this knight retreats. Ugh. All right. Were there any, like, undefended piece blunders that I made here? It doesn't like that. It says just push the pawn here. Yeah, I always forget that the queen can defend. I noticed that eventually in the game, but I don't think I had noticed it yet. So this actually is a contested square, and I should fight aggressively for the center. Fine. Doesn't like castles. It says support your pawn. Doesn't like going all the way back there either. It says support this square. But I was scared of stuff like this. Oh, I see. You just anchor yourself in here, and they can throw 3 pieces at you to take this apart, and it's immediately saying you gotta deal with this guy. Let me just anchor it in, I guess. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I forgot that I could run over here. I was thinking I would have to run here, and then this is quite a bit more threatening. So I knew this square was important, but I didn't really conceptualize that I could make use of it if they attacked me, when they attacked me with this pawn. I guess I didn't really want to lose that light square bishop because I wanted to have supporters for this square. But if you spend all your time making sure that all the guys who can support the square are alive, none of them ever get to use it. So maybe you just do this. Okay. Yeah, so I eventually got this. They let me have it, despite passing up on it many times. It says develop the queen, huh? Why did I back up with the bishop? What? What is this? Was I trying to push a pawn or something? What the hell? I don't understand this bishop move at all. It's a good thing it's on camera. We can, like, find out what I was thinking, or hopefully at least what I was saying when I did it. Yeah, it just seems awful. I guess my idea was to support this pawn, who's supporting this pawn, and then eventually get this in, but like this is where the bishop wants to live, I think. Yeah. Like, it makes it harder to develop the queen. It's just awful. And then I moved it back. What? Oh, okay. This must have been when I thought it was suddenly became not my move for some reason. This was my first misclick, I think, of like my entire Lichess career. I picked up this bishop and was thinking of moving him. And I tried to like put him back and I accidentally put him here. Okay, that's why it was like my opponent's turn when I thought it wasn't. I made this move, which is just awful. And then I was like, oh boy, the bishop sure would be better here, wouldn't he? Okay, so if I hadn't wasted 2 moves, I might have had an easier time defending my kingside, I guess, and developing my pieces. Interesting. Oh man. Actually saying it's like put the king in the corner for some reason? I don't understand that. Yeah, and I got that pawn locked in there. And it's basically saying all this time, like, you have the safer king. Open up lines. Just this is not a real problem. It looks scary, but you've got it under control with this master defender, a rook hanging out, a great pawn structure. You're gonna be fine. Work on tearing apart some of these pawns. That's a lesson that I need to like. I know when you're ahead in development, you should prefer an open position. Here, I wasn't ahead in development. I was like behind. But also a safer king should favor opening the position. And my king is cozy as a bug in a rug. He is. Oh, you're supposed to say snug as a bug in a rug. I'm sorry. He is great, and I should just like create a pawn break over here so that I can start flooding pieces in to create attacks like this. And it's hard for me looking at this to see exactly what the right move is. I understand it's this, apparently. Why not like this, though? I don't know. Oh, this pawn is overloaded. I want to have him available for this, I guess. I don't want to spend him on a take here. I see. So that's why we do this, to prepare a break over here. It says, say, they do this. I would think we go here. Apparently not. Oh. Really? I guess I'm too defensive with my bishop, but I'm like, he's where he's going to live for the rest of the game. Until some amazing opportunity opens itself up. I'm like, why don't we just do this? That's still bad. Because they can get a rook over. Okay, so why is this so great? Wow, it said this. Just give up this pawn and let a rook in? That seems horrible. I guess the rook runs into trouble if he actually tries to come in. No, it's saying just push this pawn even further. You've got a passer. March. Wow. The queen has to blockade a measly pawn. And we chase the rook away. Or trade him off, I guess. And then we have this. Yeah. There's this whole queenside attack that I didn't go for at all. And they're just like, please, trade queens. I say, fine. Huh. So, understanding this whole attack is somewhat beyond me. But I should try to at least internalize. Like, I knew I had a safer king. I was talking about it all game. Even though I felt kind of scared about these rooks, I was pretty sure I was okay. And I didn't really consider, like, okay, how do you take advantage of a safer king? You open up the position. Where can you do that? Over here. Where are your major pieces? They're also over here. So it's like a really, a match made in heaven. Okay, so I didn't do that. I was like scared of this. This break is what was bothering me. But like, I have this pawn here, isn't it fine? I don't need another rook. Yeah, this. I don't need to do this. If I just like do nothing and they go here, I was wanted to take this way. And they just don't have enough attackers. I think I might have forgotten that my pawn was available. I don't even have to retreat with the bishop. That's true. He's doing a great job right here, keeping the rooks out. And threatening this for what it's worth. We could even just take it right now if we wanted. Apparently it's not good. But okay. So I did this. And it's saying, get this bishop out of here. Do something more with him. Your king is safe even without this bishop. Attack this pawn. Make them devote a rook to just hanging out on h8 all game. Or give up the pawn. Okay. So what I didn't do that. Now I said, oh right, I noticed this. That's why these other moves also deal with this threat. I can blockade the pawn, or I can put another pawn in the way. That's cute. I saw the first chance I got to like defend this. And put the rook on a file that might someday activate. I don't know. So at least once my opponent forced a pawn break, I was able to take advantage of it a little bit. Not as well as I should have. Right, and then we missed this, I remember. But at least, like, I got something going over there. Queen here, it thinks, huh? And then it changed its mind. Oh, wow, this was a huge mistake. Why is this only an inaccuracy? Oh, this pawn move was bad, huh? So I have a huge advantage, and then I make a mistake and 2 inaccuracies in a row, and suddenly it's a draw. I thought this was awesome. Why not just, like, grab this? Huh. I guess maybe the reason it's not awesome, is because there's something better? This? Giving this pawn trouble? I don't know. This is all a mystery to me. But opponent was playing at least as badly as I was. And a little bit more focused on my king side than even I was. And I think it's pretty clear that this was a bad move. Okay, well, I think we got away with one here. I don't know. I did a lot wrong this game. No blunders, apparently. Better than my usual game, so maybe I shouldn't be so hard on myself. Okay. What was the opening we played called, by the way? No, not that button. This one. So, King's Pawn, Sicilian, closed. What's the open, by the way? This? No, this. This is Sicilian. This? Smith Mora Gambit. No thanks. So this is what you're supposed to do against the Sicilian. This is the square they're trying to control. You should try to control it too. But okay, there's nothing wrong with the closed Sicilian, apparently. Yeah, we walked into what was apparently the closed traditional Sicilian with the knight here. This would be what, the modern or the French or something? No, not traditional. I don't know. Okay, well, just trying to learn some names for things. That's all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.